Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 3. And it's the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, so still one more leg to go. And I know a lot of people will say, tie over, job done. I don't think it is done yet. And then the reason I'll say that is because 3-0 is a good lead. It's better than 2-0, of course. I think at 2-0, I would have said we're still in the balance. But I think at 3-0, the thing is, you look at 3-0, you sometimes might get complacent, think, okay, I'm going to make some changes to the team. I'm going to bring in some, different faces. And then you suddenly go 1-0 down early on and the whole game changes. So things can happen still. I don't think the game is done. But we'll talk about this game itself. I just want to point that out first that this tie is not done yet. If in case anybody's thinking it's done, it's not done yet. But it is definitely in United's hands. That's what I can say. And I mean, Nottingham made it very difficult. Again, you hear the commentary, you hear things. It's been quite a comfortable evening. It's been all that you hear cliches. It was anything but comfortable if you watched that game back again. The moments Nottingham Forest had moments, and just that, the tactics were a little bit off. I think the shape was a bit wrong to start with. I think you play a diamond 4-1-2-1-2. You're asking for trouble because you're basically asking the fullbacks to work against against the two wingers, and I think that's what happened with that first goal, where I think Sergio Aurier is being asked to kind of track Rashford. He's never going to do that. So what's going to happen is Rashford's then got to be tracked by the centre backs and the central defensive midfield, and that's asking for trouble, isn't it? But that first goal run is so beautiful. Watch it again; it is so nice. I thought there might have been a deflection. It actually isn't a deflection. He just goes clean through. He gets a bit of luck in being able to go clean through, but he goes clean through, which is fantastic. And then the finish. I was really happy with the finish because it's a left foot finish. It's a goal that I think Hennessey could do better on, and I think Hennessey had a bad game today for two of the three goals he was at fault. But you could say maybe the third as well, but definitely two of the three goals he was at fault. But that finish from the left foot was good for me to see, because I think Rashford sometimes favors his right foot too much. And this kind of just keeps people guessing. Okay, fine, Rashford can also score with his left foot. So he took it on his left foot. And the goalkeeper could have saved it. I think the goalkeeper was expecting him to shoot with his right foot as well. Like all of us, I think he was thinking, he's going to shoot with his right foot. And he says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shoot with my left foot. And he shoots and it goes in. He can't wrong foots the goalkeeper. So it's a good finish. Rashford is in hot form at the moment. He really is. And like I said, I think that World Cup has triggered something inside him. I feel like somehow that World Cup has made him a better player. Just that experience of being at the World Cup. Maybe Ten Hag has also told him to model his game a little bit after Mbappe. I do see shades of that in him, and I think he's been told to do that. So it's whatever it is, it's working for him, and it's 1-0. And I think the first 7-8 minutes, we thought, yeah, United are dominant. They'll probably get a second, maybe a third, before halftime, try and kill the tie as quickly as possible. Then Nottingham work their way back in the game. I think they figured that 4-1-2-1-2 is not working. They go to a 4-4-2. I think a 4-4-2 is a wonderful formation to play against Manchester United, because for one, Lisandro Martinez, he's a fantastic defender, and I will talk about him later. He's a fantastic defender. But if you can isolate Martinez and Varane, or the second defender, whoever the second defender, in this case, of course, Lindelof, but you can isolate the two defenders, you then kind of have a chance, because one defender, I think between Martinez and whoever plays alongside, they can kind of work it out. But two strikers is a problem, and I think that was the thing that changed the game a lot for Nottingham Forest, because suddenly they started having more possession. They started breaking very quickly. I think the pattern of the game was quite clear. Nottingham were like, okay, fine, you can have the ball, and then we'll quickly get it off you, and then we'll quickly break. And they did that a couple of times. A couple of times it didn't come up, and then one time it comes off. Sam Surridge scores. I mean, Rashford, that's a poor pass from Rashford. I've got to say, it's a really bad pass from Marcus Rashford. And then I don't know where the whole midfield, I think, just pushed up, and so there was all the space behind. Suddenly it's 3-on-2, and Sam Surridge with a fantastic finish. It should be 1-1. It's not, because VAR says it's offside. And I tell you what, it's the tightest offside. And I'm really, if I was not a Manchester United fan, I would be really disappointed with that, because it's one of those things that VAR, I mean, technically and we can't talk about letter of the law, it's all correct, it's all good. But sometimes you want to see the goals like that being scored. It's so sad to see. I'm sure at some point United will have the same thing go against them. But it just takes away a little bit, doesn't it, when you see goals like that being ruled out? But technically correct, aesthetically, I think you kind of feel a little bit bad. And I felt bad for Nottingham, because they deserved that goal. They deserved to be 1-0. And they really had a couple of other chances. I mean, Brennan Johnson threw on goal. Again, poor defending there. There was, I think, Morgan Gibbs-White, I mean, had a chance as well. He missed as well. So Nottingham Forest had chances. For anyone who thinks Nottingham Forest didn't have chances, they had chances. Many of them were self-inflicted by Manchester United, but they had chances. It was just that clinical finishing that they were lacking, and maybe a little bit of luck on United's side. And luck, of course, played a part in getting the second goal. I mean, about Weghorst, we talked about him a little bit. I don't think he's a player who's going to offer a lot to Manchester United, but what he does offer is not bad. I think he's a player who can. I was very impressed with his work rate. He won the ball back quite a few times. He's someone who presses quite high up the pitch. For a striker, he's not. He's very very defensively adept for a striker. Like for someone who's supposed to play a friend, he can sense things. He kind of doesn't mind tracking back, doesn't mind covering spaces, which I like. But that goal is going to help him a lot. Again, it's you talk about that goal again, and it's a nice bit of play from Casemiro. Actually, Casemiro was a nice little pass on Bruno. I don't think Casemiro had a good game today, but I think that pass was really good. And Bruno shoots and it's saved. And again, someone might say the goalkeeper maybe could have parried it away a little bit further rather than where he did. But I'm going to give him the benefit of that. Sometimes shots like that, it's very hard to. It's hard enough to save it, and then to kind of think about it's going to land after saving. So the save and what Weghorst. It's actually a very good finish. A lot of people might say it's a tap in. It's not a tap in. It's actually a very good finish if you watch it again to the outside of his boot, because he's got to make sure he gets it on target, but he's also got to make sure that the goalkeeper doesn't save it on the rebound. So it's actually a very, very good finish. Watch that again if you haven't seen it. It's very wonderful. It's 2-0. And you just think to yourself, okay, United can now maybe shut up shop a little bit, maybe see out the game. And that's I think what they were doing in the second half. They were just trying to let Nottingham Forest, and I think the first 10 minutes, Nottingham were all over Manchester United. They really started well, and then slowly I think United kind of worked it out and said, okay, fine, let's get into the rhythm of things and let's figure and let's see it out. And they would have seen it out at 2-0, except Nottingham said, here's a gift for you. There's a late Christmas gift for you to make it 3-0. I mean, again, that pass, they lose the ball in midfield. It's a wonderful pass from Bruno to Pellistri, by the way. I've got to mention that. It was such a good pass from to Pellistri. And it's a shame Pellistri couldn't score, because I would have really liked it to see him score a goal. I think his play was quite good. But it comes to Nico Williams. Williams, I think I don't know if it's a half-hearted clearance. I think he just kind of is unaware of what's happening around him. So he just kind of half-heartedly clears it. He probably could get more on it, probably could do better with it. But if also Elanga scoops a nice pass to Bruno, that thing that will give him a lot of confidence, because he's not had a good time of it either. So an assist for him will be really, really good. And then the finish comes from Bruno. I think Hennessey should have saved that, because it takes his hand and it goes in. So I just feel it wasn't in the corner. It was kind of central. And I think Hennessey should have said that. And what that brings me to is the fact that I think United would be saying it's a good thing we didn't allow Dean Henderson to play, because when Hennessey is not the goalkeeper that you want at this level, you can see why Forest love Dean Henderson and why they wanted him, because Hennessey for me is the times I've seen him, I don't think he had a good game when United play Forest in the league either. I think he's a bit of a liability in goals. So that's something there. I don't know if they have any other options, and they might look at other options, but the reality is that I think the goalkeeper gifted a couple of goals. United got lucky with that. I think they made that decision. Talking about the team, my man of the match was Lisandro Martinez, and I said Lisandro Martinez, 2-on-2, there's a chance, but today I think he still looked very, very good. There were nervy moments, a few nervy moments I felt from Martinez. I still don't think he's completely back to his pre-World Cup level. I still think he needs a little bit of more work on that. But even otherwise, he's still a fantastic defender. That's an elite level defender. He's still a world-class defender, though. I think today he was really good. Everything was on point. Everything that he did was on point. He looked comfortable out there. And what it does is it allows Lindelof, who had a shaky start to begin with, it allowed him to get comfortable and work his way into the game as well. So that's the effect that a good defender can have next to you. A good centre back not only plays well, but makes others around him play well as well. I think that's what Lisandro Martinez is doing. He's a fantastic player. I love watching him. I love watching that tackle that he put on Dennis, I believe it was absolutely brilliant. There's someone back. He doesn't care what's going to happen. I'm just going to take him out. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to let him, go ahead. I'm going to win the ball. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. Just pure blood, blood and guts determination. I love watching Lisandro Martinez. He's my favorite player, one of my favorite players to watch. Across football, I just love him. And you got to talk about Antony as well. Antony, I think the thing about Antony is that he played better today than he played against Arsenal, which I think it was not surprising, because I don't think you can ever play any worse than he was against Arsenal. The problem is, I still don't think he's at the level that is needed, and he's still very, very one-footed. And the problem with that is oftentimes there are chances where he could probably use his right foot. He almost stubbornly refuses. I almost feel like there's a stubborn refusal to use the right foot. I don't know. I can't explain it any other way, but I just think he just refuses to use the right foot. And I think it's fear. It's probably thinking, if I use my right foot and I lose the ball, it's going to be a problem. So I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to be safe. And I think that's not working for him. And that's affecting his gameplay. It's affecting his gameplay. It's affecting everyone else around him. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the solution is, but there's a lot to work on there, and because of his 1 foot nature, I think it makes him predictable. And the contrast is, as soon as Pellistri came on, you saw as soon as he got the ball and he put in across. He put in across towards Weghorst. Weghorst probably should have done better with that one, but he can, maybe Weghorst wasn't even expecting it because he doesn't get any crosses ever. So like, oh my god, I got a cross now, I've got to do something with it. But I thought Pellistri showed what Antony needs to be doing more of. I think just the fact that he's right-footed and he's playing on the right. The thing is, Pellistri may also be very right-footed. It's possible that he may be one-footed too. That I'm not saying, we haven't seen much of Pellistri, so I can't really make judgments on what his style is. But he just looks a little bit more nimble. I don't think Pellistri doesn't mind coming inside and using his left foot if he needs to. I just feel that way, that you get that impression from him that he cuts inside. Antony is always, he's never going that way. He's always going this way. And you've got to be able to go both ways, because then you keep the defender guessing. Otherwise, you're just too predictable. So that's where that changed. He did have a moment of issue, Pellistri, when he put that back pass, which almost cost them a goal. But other than that, I think he looked very good. And for a player who's not played a lot, it's going to take him a while to get also into match with them. So I can't be too hard on him. Same with Garnacho. Didn't have a good game today, Garnacho, I felt. But again, these are young players. They're gonna need time to get themselves into game rhythm, and they're gonna have ups and downs, and you've got to live with that. I would like to see Pellistri start against Reading. I really would. And you know what? I would also want to see him play against Nottingham Forest. Maybe not start against Forest. I think Antony probably should start. If he's not going to start against Reading, I think Antony should start against Forest. But I would like to see Pellistri have more game time than he's got, the 20 minutes that he got. I would like to see him get 30, 40 minutes, full half probably. I would like to see that for him. So, but we'll see what Ten Hag does, of course. Right. Anyway, let me know in the comments. What do you think about the game? What did you think about Forest performance? I love Morgan Gibbs-White, by the way, and Brennan Johnson, Morgan Gibbs-White really impressed me, and I hope to see more of them in the future. And they look really good. But let me know what you thought of the game. Of course, Manchester United's performance, Nottingham Forest performance. Do you think the tie is over? Do you think Forest can make a comeback? Let me know. Always love to hear from you guys. Of course, do remember to subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Love to have your support. Want to keep doing this, and we'll continue doing this, and your support really helps us. So thank you so much. Take care, and smash a like if you enjoyed this video, of course. Take care. Bye-bye.